In spite of what I was told yesterday, this is not Satan's world. Yeah. We grew up in this. Do you know how much stuff there is in our subconscious about this stuff? This is why we come here on Sunday mornings. And sometimes I talk about that every Sunday morning. Why do we come here? Because we create an energy, a field of energy, of love and peace, that in which we can just literally, like a sauna, just be in that energy for an hour to kind of re-energize ourselves, because we are in such need of that to undo all the doing that has taken place. So we come together Sunday mornings and we sing together and we laugh together and we affirm new positive thoughts together and we pray together and we even learn together. Yes, we need to learn so that we can unlearn the things that we have been told, which for me are just not true. And I'll talk more about that during the lesson. So unity is a positive path for spiritual living. God is absolute good, everywhere present. You know, Van Morrison, on the way down I heard a song. He's got a song called Warm Love. Have you heard that song? He says, it's ever present everywhere. It's a warm love. It's ever present everywhere. And I'm thinking, yeah, unity principle number one. Ever present, everywhere. So that's what we have to change our minds to, that we are in this field of loving energy. That is where we are. And anything contrary to that is something that we as humanity have created. And only we as a humanity can uncreate. And that's what we're in the process of doing. And coming together Sunday morning helps us all do that to ourselves and then go out into the world and share that energy with everyone else around us. And so, again, it was an interesting week for me this week. But anyway, it's behind me now, and time to refocus. So welcome once again, and please join me in our mission statement. We are a thriving spiritual community, inspiring and empowering individual and global transformation as exemplified by the life and the teachings of the Master Jesus, as my series are saying. So once again, welcome to the Spiritual Center, Georgetown, a spiritual breath of fresh air. Our announcements.
If you are here for the first time, we would like to extend a special welcome. If you are comfortable, please raise your hand or stand so that we can say hi and give you a welcome packet. Anyone here for the first time? Welcome. Welcome. Would you share your name and where you're from?
Mills from Arizona, but I live here in Sun City now.
Wonderful.
And this is my daughter.
Charlie Bowman. She's mad at me for bringing her back.
Welcome, Charlie. Could we give you a welcome packet? And there's a yellow sheet if you'd mind putting it in the offertory. Anyone else? The new member class scheduled for today after service starts at 12:30 in the Mesquite Room. A light lunch will be provided for those attending, and we're excited for those who want to join us officially into our spiritual family. Welcome. We raised $296.33 from the Fund and Fellowship Fiesta last weekend. Yes. Yes, fun and good food. We have added it to the general fund for miscellaneous future expenses. Thank you to all who participated in any way. Let's Get Metaphysical discussion group with Reverend Tommy usually meets on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. at Legacy Hills across the park, across the street at the Oaks. Weather permitting, if not, we'll meet at Ann's house. But starting Tuesday, June 18th, LGM will be meeting downtown at the Grace Heritage Center, on South Main Street in Georgetown on the first and third Tuesday, twice a month, from 7 to 9 p.m. It will be a great outreach to those in the area looking for a spiritual but not religious community. Please plan to join us. On the weeks we have LGM downtown, we will not be meeting on the Wednesday that week. The Band from the Bible discussion finally has dates. Saturday, June 22nd from 1 to 4 in the Mesquite Room, we will be viewing...
What? Oh. All right. Oh, down there, yeah.
Okay. Well, at any rate, we will be viewing the first DVD of Band from the Bible on June 22nd, 1 to 4. We'll watch the first part of it, take a break, discuss, and then finish. The second meeting will be on the following Saturday, June 29th, same location and time. There's still a sign-up sheet in the foyer at the welcome table. Tuesday, June 25th, is the next book club meeting. Our book for June is The Keys of Jeshua by Glenda Green. We will be in the conference room at the Sun City Activity Center, 1 Texas Drive, across from the Farmers Market. Anyone who cares to do lunch at the city market after is welcome. A love donation will be accepted for the room rental. Our Fund and Fellowship Committee is hard at work for summer activities. If you have an idea you'd like to offer or something you'd like to see us do as a spiritual family, please let us know. You can find Alice, Mary Crescia, or Carrie after service, and we'll bring your wishes to the group. We are so appreciative of those that stay and have stayed after service this month to help out with putting the room back in order. We have limited time, and more hands make the work easier and faster. Thank you. Just a few more weeks. Sally Guerra would like to thank anyone and everyone who had collected plastic lids and caps over the years. Those students who started the project have graduated, and there is no one taking it over. But we are still collecting the pull tabs from the soda cans. They go to the Ronald McDonald House. Many thanks. Please visit our welcome table in the foyer, check out your weekly e-newsletter sent out every Friday morning, or go to our website.
So I have checked the weather, and remember we have a new standing understanding that even if I say on Sunday that we're going to meet at Ann's because the weather doesn't look good, if Wednesday morning it looks nice, we'll be at the park across the street. And I already checked the weather. It's going to be a nice day. So we'll be at the park across the street. If you want me to send you the links to the videos that we're watching, just pick up one of my cards and send me an email. I'll send it to you. That way you can watch it beforehand. The other thing is this Band from the Bible little thing that we're going to do in a couple of weeks is about how the different books of the Bible came to be canon and which ones were thrown out for various reasons, mostly because they were deemed heretical by somebody. So it's an interesting view of how the Bible, as you know, it's not a book, it's a collection of books, and which one made it in and which one made it out. Finally, one other thing. Donna Sue, our lovely Donna Sue, is graduating from what is called a spiritual direction, path or certification? Yeah. On this Monday, right? Yeah, at 7 p.m. She's gone through a lot to get to this this designation, and I just want to tell everybody and welcome, just a big round of applause for Donna Sue. One final thing is, I believe, Byram, this is your last Sunday here for 6 months? Yes, it is. So he heads back to Connecticut for 6 months. And so we'll miss you, and we look forward to seeing you again in November. Yeah. So we'd like to begin our service with a little bit of comedy, just to get some humor, just to open ourselves up. And I have a guest comedian this morning, Mr. Dan.
Okay, so there was an elementary school teacher, and she decided to do a segment on the various religions of the world. And she asks the children, tomorrow, would you please bring something that represents your family's faith for show and tell? So, the first child stands up and says, I'm Muslim and this is my prayer rug. Second child stands up and says, I'm Jewish and this is my family's menorah. Third child stands up, says, I'm Roman Catholic and this is my mother's rosary. Fourth child stands up, says, I'm Greek Orthodox and this is an icon of my patron saint. Fifth child stands up, says, I'm Baptist and here's my casserole dish.
Let's please rise and begin our service.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you.
1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2.
Now, as we ring the crystal bowl, let us join our hearts and our minds in community to open this sacred service.
Today's daily word is prosperity. Affirmation: I focus on the goodness of God and know prosperity. The inspiration for today's daily word comes from Psalm 36:8. They feast on the abundance of your house, and you give them drink from the river of your delights. Sometimes I may worry, wondering if I will have enough of what I need. If thoughts of lack or limitation arise, I lift my thoughts from the things of the world to the truth of God. I focus my mind on the richness of divine life within me. I feel calm and assured as I remember I live in an abundant universe and am heir to everything God is. Even when my worldly fortunes shift, I am abundant in spirit. As I align my thinking with divine mind in prayer, I become receptive to divine ideas that prosper me. I claim prosperity and feel empowered as I do. My prosperity stems from my oneness with God. I count my blessings, feel grateful, and trust with understanding faith I have enough. Please read the affirmation with me twice. I focus on the goodness of God and know prosperity. I focus on the goodness of God and know prosperity.
And now it's time to light the 3 candles of divine order. They are mind, idea, and expression. Divine mind is that wonderful matrix of energy that surrounds us at all times, where ideas are there. And as we think, a thought comes along that we focus on. And out of that thought is a divine idea. And then if we take that idea and we manifest it into expression, then it lives on. These ideas may come to you in a dream. They may come to you as you're just sitting there. They are yours if you desire them. If you don't, then they go back into this wonderful matrix of divine mind so that someone else may have that thought and bring that thought into the expression of a beautiful musical or a piece of art or an improvement in your connection with God. And now, if you'll repeat with me our prayer of intention. Living Spirit opens our minds, opens our hearts, touches us all deeply with love, and sends us out as agents of love, agents of peace, agents of justice. Amen. And so we will now do our second congregational song.
Get a waltz on this one. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as you so use me. Oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, all things new, and God needs us to shine its light as you so use me. Oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. And God needs us to shine its light, and God needs us to shine its light, and God needs us to shine its light as you so use me. Oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Oh, what a wonderful music team we have. Thank you so much. And now, if you'll please join me in our unity statement of being and our vision statement. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God, the good omnipotence. Centered in God, we co-create a world of love, peace, and abundance. And now for our inspirational song.
More waltz. Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of, and I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I always present. It's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son, and I choose love. Peace in our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present. It's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love.
And now it's time in our service for our community prayers. As we open our hearts and feel the love that surrounds us every day and every moment, let us be grateful that we have this time at this place to offer up any prayers for any individuals or any situations that need God's healing grace. So at this time, if you will place that person or that situation into this sacred circle, either saying it out loud or silently within, we now give those prayers over to God. And now as we close this time of prayer, we sing an ancient prayer, a prayer handed down through the ages that affirms God's realm manifest in earth as it is in heaven, our Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
Well, as Reverend Tommy said, I will be graduating this coming Monday. It's been a 2-year program with Unity Spiritual Institute. It has been a wonderful program. It has led me so much deeper into my relationship with God. And I could not have done this program without the help and support of this wonderful church and the members in it. And I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I started out as a prayer chaplain in 2001. I decided I needed to know more about this thing called unity. So I took their classes on spiritual education and enrichment. Boy, were those eye-openers. Now, I had come from a Christian background and from a little church, Christian church, Disciples of Christ, which was non-denominational, very close to unity because we had no doctrine, we had no creed. But we didn't have that rich, deep spiritual insight that unity goes into. So as I have been a prayer chaplain, they came up with a program called Spiritual Direction. Now, spiritual direction, according to the dictionary, is the practice of being with people as they attempt to deepen their relationship with the divine, or to learn and grow in their personal spirituality. The person seeking direction shares stories of their encounters of the divine, or how they are cultivating a life attuned to spiritual things. Now, the spiritual director provides a sacred space of confidentiality and non-judgment, where people who are looking to develop a more intimate relationship with God, or who are going through something, a crisis, or maybe sometimes it's just they want to talk about the joy that's going on in their life. So the spiritual director is not there to fix you. The spiritual director is there to listen and accompany you on your spiritual journey. The spiritual director helps you recognize God's presence in your life. And they help you nurture and deepen that relationship with God as the spiritual director or companion, spiritual companion, listens intently, sees and hears you as that spiritual, divine child of God that you are. So we may ask some open-ended questions just so you can get more in touch with yourself, because the answers are in you. I don't know what's best for you. Only you know what's best for you. So I've provided some life questions that should be up on the screen. And let's see which one we started with. Okay. I also have some quotes in there. And this one is by Socrates. The unexamined life is not worth living. Another one by Lloyd Alexander is, we learn more by looking for the answer to a question and not finding it than we do from learning the answer itself. And then one from James Thurber. It is better to know some of the questions than all of the answers. Now, the next slides will be questions that you can ask yourself that will bring you more deeply into alignment with your consciousness and your beloved. What do I know for sure? Well, to grow spiritually, one needs to be clear on what you believe and know in the deep core of your being, and then live by those principles. So it's very important to know, what you don't. Is faith or fear guiding your decisions? Fear will cause you to take immediate action, but promotes impulsive, non-conscious action. Faith, on the other hand, will lead to decisions made from a higher state of consciousness. What am I listening to and for? If you take the time to become quiet and attentively listen, you will hear wisdom from within you. However, if you fail to listen to it, you will have accomplished only, well, that one doesn't make much sense, does it? I think I left something out there. But anyhow, the thing is to listen. You know, we receive messages all the time, but do we really stop and listen? What do you think I am? Our true identity is not from external judgments, but comes from within. You are always changing, and your understanding of yourself must also change. We are not our body. If we lose a limb, are we still that same person? Yes. Yes. So the body is not our identity. Is our occupation our identity? If I lose my job, am I still the same person? Yes. So, who do you think you are? Get in touch with that soul that is within you. What do I say yes to in my life? Priorities tell me a lot about yourself. If there is a discrepancy between how you live and what you believe in, you will feel unfulfilled and scattered. You must address these discrepancies in order to live a more authentic life and love yourself. How many of us sometimes do things that we know our true self is not happy about? And then that brings doubt. And then that brings self-loathing instead of the love that we are supposed to feel. What in me is allowing this to continue? So if you're continually not listening, not believing in yourself, not feeling that self-love, remember, you are a co-creator with Spirit. You are responsible for where you are in life. You can use this co-creative process to bring forth something new and better. We're always changing. We're never the same. We're never the same from one moment to the next. What is my intention? The universe wishes to fulfill your desires and does not judge whether your attention is on a negative or a positive outcome. Focus your mind and energy on an intention of creating the life you want. God wants us to have a full, abundant, joyful life. But it is up to us to create with Spirit that life. It is our choice. Who am I trying to please? You will more truly express the divine potential within you when you focus on being the best self you can be. Now, that doesn't mean we have to be perfect, because we're not. And if we think we can be perfect, then we're fooling ourselves. But God doesn't expect us to be perfect. So love those imperfections. What am I resisting? We have that phrase, what we resist persists. I know that one all too well. Finding a resolution to a challenge gives you the opportunity to learn and grow personally. You know, that's what we are in this school called Earth. We're learning, we're growing, we're getting more in touch with the beloved. Ooh, here's one. Whom do I need to forgive? Forgiveness is what you do for yourself. Let go of the past. Hatred blocks the heart from giving and receiving love. You don't have to forgive the act, but you do have to see that person as a divine child of God who has forgotten. And it is your light and your love that stands as a mirror to show them what God's power can do. Now, with spiritual direction, this can be done either in person, on the phone, or by Zoom. It can be done on one-on-one. It can also be done in groups. My spiritual director lives on the East Coast, so we have monthly Zoom meetings or telephone, and they usually last about 45 minutes. We have lived so long in our silos. It is time for us to be the brothers and sisters we are meant to be. It is time for us to live in community and take care of each other and walk that journey with each other in light and love. So think about some of these questions as we go into the silence. We will remain in silence for about 2 minutes, and Dan will bring us back.
We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside, we all need the same things. Maybe we'll find if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. Maybe we'll find true peace of mind if we always remember we can be kind.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Donna Sue, and congratulations. The Words of the Master, Part 2, Rebuilding a New World Vision. We have got to change the way that we see things, right, Dolores? Thank you for reminding me of that. This is especially true in regards to how we see our place in the universe. I was reminded very sharply of that yesterday. It was an interesting contrast. Last week I began a series called The Words of the Master. The aim is to get a better understanding of the life and especially the teachings of the Master Jesus, and thus change how we see things. Many of us, as Donna Sue said, come from a Christian or Catholic background. We are in need of this therapy. We really are. As I like to say, unity reconciled my Christian upbringing with my insistence on universality. It has got to be about everybody. Growing up Catholic, I had a peculiar feeling that something was right about it. Something felt right, but something didn't feel right. And I didn't know what it was at the time. I do now. And that is a big reason of why I am doing this series. Because the bottom line is Christianity got Jesus wrong. He was not the sacrificial lamb the tradition tries to sell us. That is a reflection of a very small God. Jesus was a great spiritual teacher, as this series of talks will show. He came to show us how to live this human experience in a better way, because we need guidance in that. We've messed up a lot of things. And in fact, the traditional message, Christian message, is really not even about Jesus. It is about Paul, and that's what I've been talking about. But since it was Paul who ultimately promoted it, then that's the message that won out. So I will be repeating some of the things from last week. So instead of saying, as I said last week, I'm just going to say them like they're brand new, because some people didn't hear it, and others, we need to be reminded of these things all the time anyway. When I began the series, the universe jumped in to my help. I said, I can help you out with 3 different things. One, which I talked about last week, was that perspective of Paul, which came across in a Facebook post by my cousin, who is a preacher. And it comes from 1 Thessalonians, and I shared it with you. And I wanted to share it with you because tradition quotes Paul a lot, especially the evangelical. So I wanted you to understand what he believed, his model of the universe. It was an apocalyptic view, one involving the classic battle between good and evil. And in that model of the universe, there are 2 forces. As I said yesterday, I was reminded that the world now is right now under the control of Satan. And so that comes from that whole apocalyptic point of view. Of course, ultimately, God wins out, and he returns to raise the dead, and those who are still alive will join, and the kingdom of heaven will begin here on earth. That's the theology. If you weren't sure about it, it is. As one of the professors noted in that great courses that I took, he says, we're not going to heaven. Heaven is coming to us. Because heaven, strange. I await the resurrection of the dead and the life of the world to come. Catholics, does that sound familiar? I heard it yesterday. This model is not about being in the present moment. It is about living for the future. Of course, Paul had no clue that the earth would be consumed by the sun in 5 billion years, but that's a minor detail. Perhaps heaven can be moved. I don't know. The other thing Paul believed, and this is big, was that, and Kathy pointed that out to me this morning. She said, I had not caught on that. I said, I hadn't either until I really started looking at things more closely. Paul believed that all of this was going to happen during his lifetime. It was clearly written in that passage last week, and he says it in other passages as well. Now, the fact that that did not happen, well, it's not hardly ever mentioned, and that's why nobody knows about it. But that's what he believed. That was the gospel of Paul. It was going to happen during his lifetime. But the question is the gospel of Paul the gospel of Jesus? The short answer is no. And that's what we're going to be talking about during this series. The other key point that we covered was that early on, remember, you're going to learn this stuff. It's going to be automatic after a while. 2 directions early Christianity could have gone. The direction of Paul or the direction of Jesus. And we picked Paul. Because, of course, the reason is, again, because he was the one promoted it. It makes perfect sense. Jesus never intended to start a religion. So he didn't write anything down. He wasn't trying to do that. One final note about this apocalyptic message. It was very dominant at the time. It had been around for 500 years, that message. Everybody knew this. It was common knowledge that that's how the world was going to end. God was going to return, and the big battle, and all that stuff. It came from Zoroastrianism, and that's what really that message is all about. So the fact that it caught on is not a surprise. The fact that it remains is. It is very strange. So this is a model of the universe that I need to start tearing down in my subconscious, because it's in there big time. And probably you do too. Recently, I came across a quote that I have shared with you several times. It says, all models are wrong, some models are useful. Well, for me, this model of Paul always felt wrong, and I never found it particularly useful either. So I moved on. When I started the series, again, the universe came to my aid in 3 different ways. That was the first. This is the second. One evening while searching for the videos for the Let's Get Metaphysical group, I came across one called The Forgotten Gospel of Jesus the Nazarene by Aaron Abke. I started to listen to it, caught my attention immediately. And I thought, you know what, the LGM group, I think, might be interested in this. So I shared it. Sure enough, I got all kinds of emails back like, whoa, this is fascinating stuff. And I said, I know. They don't usually respond that much. They were really taken by it. And if you want a copy of the link, let me know. I'll send you the link so you can watch it. It's about 28 minutes. A little longer than most LGM videos, but it's worth it. This video brings up some rather interesting ideas about who and what Jesus was. And one of the central points that he makes was that Jesus was an Essene master. I'll get back to that in a minute. Now, as a contrast, I did find another video where this one guy says, there are only a handful of biblical scholars that believe that Jesus was an Essene. But we don't know for certain. So I split the difference. Question, was Jesus an Essene or Jesus was not an Essene? And the answer is yes, as everything else. Because perhaps he was not an Essene per se, but certainly the influences of that school of thought are in his teachings. And we're going to get there in a minute. Well, maybe not this today, but we're going to get there. Early in the video, he also brings up the same thing that I've been talking about the difference between Paul and Jesus. He makes it very clear. You can't follow Paul and Jesus. They're two diametrically opposed views. Again, I was reminded of that. They're two different ways to see things. Paul's gospel was about salvation by faith. You believe in Jesus, and you're done. Jesus didn't promote that message. Jesus was about the works that he did, about living a good life. How, as he says it, how you show up as the Christ figure in this world. That is the message of Jesus. Now, just to juxtaposition that with unity is fundamentally based on the idea of oneness, and that model is fundamentally based on a model of separation, where we are separate from things. And we know now, even from quantum physics, that we're not separate from anything. It's all one. And that old model of separation, I heard it again yesterday, I keep saying it, but man, it was a good reminder for today. When you say rest in peace, what does that mean? Can you explain rest in peace to anybody? It means that you are, and he says, in eternal peace. So when you die, you go to the tomb. And you are there, resting in peace until the resurrection. That's what it means. But then they talk about a soul at the same time. It's like, but it's confusing. Where does a non-corporeal entity such as a soul fit into this scheme of things of a resurrection? Anyway, I had to move on from it. So Jesus says that he and the prophets of old came to tell us that God was not interested in blood sacrifices anymore. He would just, and he never was, but the mentality of humanity was catching up. He says what he was interested in is a contrite heart. I said a contrite heart. Exactly what does that mean? I looked it up. It says feeling or expressing remorse or repentance affected by guilt. I said, well, I'm not even sure God needs that, but I get it. It is we who need to change and find that repentance, that change, because remember, what does repent mean? To change direction. Find a new way to look at this. So let me talk a little bit about this Aaron Abke guy, because if I'm talking about his lesson, I probably would talk about who the heck is he anyway. So this guy is not unity. He's not New Thought. He never mentions unity or New Thought, as a matter of fact. And by the way, if we took offense, we might want to take offense, because neither he nor Richard Rohr, all these people that are talking very unity-ish, never give us any credit. We've been talking this stuff for 130 years. Somebody throw us a bone or something. You know? Anyway, he was raised a preacher's son, and he bought into that whole system hook, line, and sinker. He grew up an evangelical, and he got a degree in theology from Oral Roberts. And that whole story reminds me a little bit of a Dr. Bart Ehrman that we have talked about in the past. Same thing. Grew up in his early years, he was a big-time evangelical, the whole deal. But the more he learned, the further and further he got away from traditional Christianity until both of them left it all together. And Aaron decided to look towards more of the mystical side of Christianity, because there is that mystical side. Meister Eckhart, Santa Teresa de Avila, all these people, they're very, very mystical. He shares another thing with unity, this guy Aaron. He shares the idea that Jesus was a highly evolved spiritual master. He refers to him as an avatar. That's no small thing. In fact, I looked up the definition of avatar, and it says, well, it has two meanings these days. There's a computer thing where you have an avatar. Well, it's not that one. It's the second one. It says it's a Hindu, a concept within Hinduism that signifies a material appearance or incarnation of a powerful spiritual deity, goddess, or spirit on earth. The idea of an avatar, and it exists in Buddhism as well. They call it a bodhisattva, or some strange name like that. I think Steely Dan has a song, right? Anyway, I'm going to have to listen to the lyrics to that song now. The idea is that these entities are so involved that they no longer have necessity to return to Earth, but they choose to do so because they want to share their understanding of spirituality with the rest of mankind. That is an avatar. And so he refers to him as that. The point is, Aaron seems to be a very well-studied guy. He did a lot of studying. And even if we take his information with a grain of salt, which I would recommend you do everything that you read, take it all with a grain of salt. So back to Jesus as an Essene. We know that Jesus was a Jew. He never intended to be anything other than a Jew. There were three Jewish sects at the time: the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the Essenes. The Pharisees were the letter of the law people, the pious ones who challenged Jesus all the time. The Sadducees were the elitists. They were the priests, the aristocrats, the businessmen, the ones doing business at the temple when he went in over to the temple. Those were the Sadducees. And then there were the Essenes. And they emerged out of disgust, it says, with the other two groups. This sect they believed that the whole thing was corrupted. The city, the temple, everything. So they moved out of Jerusalem and they went up and lived in a monastic lifestyle in the mountains. And from them, we get the Dead Sea Scrolls, which we're going to get into that one of these days too. They were kind of like the monks of the Jewish community. And he also points out that Jesus was not a Pharisee or a Sadducee, so he says he was an Essene. Now, I said I don't know to what degree he was, but the influence is certainly there of the things that he talked about. I want to share a final thought on this before moving on next week to pick up from here, and that is called the Essene Tree of Life. Can you put that up? Look at that. Isn't that interesting? I found that fascinating. It depicts the world of the tree of life as the one that exists in the air, if you will, and the one that exists in the roots in the ground. And you can see that it has a figure in the middle of a person, and that person's body is halfway in the ground, halfway in the air. That is an interesting, I said, wow. And he relates it to the chakras, that the bottom half of our chakras are the ones that are grounded in the earth, in our physical existence. And from the heart up are the ones that are grounded in our non-physical existence. And I said, wow, what a fascinating tree of life. That's where I plan to begin the talk next week of Jesus. And I'll share one thing as a sneak preview, that one of the central creeds of the Essenes was, seek ye first the kingdom. And who said that? Jesus did. That was their central tenet. Seek ye first the kingdom. That's what we're going to pick up next week. So I want to invite you now to just take a couple of moments now. A couple of deep breaths. And just center ourselves in this direction that we're going about rebuilding our spiritual understanding of things. Because we live both in the physical world, can I have a little bit of music, Tim, please? And the non-physical world, the seen and the unseen, the particle and the waves of everything. Is one real or one not real? I don't agree with that. I think it's all real. Yeah, some of it looks permanent, some of it looks temporary, but in the present moment, they are the same thing in different form. That is, to me, what oneness is about. So, today, we place ourselves in a gratitude for this wonderful spiritual community that we have. And the words of the Master, that the kingdom of heaven is within us. And as we begin to see this kingdom of heaven in everything around us, then we are able to leave those old, archaic ideas that are holding us down behind us, so we can open ourselves up to new and higher ideas that'll lift us up where we belong. When we do this, and we can do this, then we are able to see both the good in everyone and in everything. That is what heaven is, seeing the good in everything. And so it is.
Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It only seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It only seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. People done gone crazy. People done gone mad. People done forgot the superpowers we all have. We were born to love, not hate. We can decide our fate. Look for the good in everyone. Let's celebrate all our mistakes. If there's a silver lining, you still have to find it, find it, find it. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Everyone needs sunshine. Everyone needs rain. Everyone is carrying around some kind of pain. I see who you are. You're just like me. You're searching for a purpose and guided by a dream. I see who you are. I'm just like you. I sometimes get lost and I forget what I'm supposed to do, but I keep on trying. Keep on trying. When it gets frightening, look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It only seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good. Look for the good. Look for the good in everyone.
Look for the good in everyone and everything. When you can do that, you have found the kingdom, my friends. Now comes the time when we offer our tithes and our gifts to the spiritual community so that we can continue to do the work of spreading the positive and wonderful message that we are powerful co-creators of the universe and that we're not pitiful sinners. We take our tithes in our hands and we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give love and I trust God.
Everything I see, everything I do is blessed by your hand, God. I give it back to you. Everything I give, every thought that's true is magnified in kind, God. I give it back to you.
Join me in our offering dedication. We bless and dedicate these tithes and offerings as an expression of divine love, and we release them to manifest that love in our community and in our world. We bless the children of the world. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ you are. And we say that we were going to do our part in cleaning up this place, that we're going to leave you, okay? Reminders, prayer chaplain is Donna Sue. Yay, Donna Sue. Congratulations once again. We have the membership meeting right afterwards, as soon as we can get it started. I guess the sooner the better, that's fine. We have LGM at the park this week. You want to join us? What else are there? Where's our board president? Oh, there's more. Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody. And we need to add Dean and Don next week because they're here at 9 o'clock every Sunday morning to set up everything for us. So we have to put them up on the board as well. Yay! So let's rise and end our service with our peace song.
On earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are being. Let's go with each other in perfect harmony. The moment now, with every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
I am light. I am love. I am power. I am presence. I am. Have a blessed week. Thank you.
Hi. Oh, we can be kind.
And I just look it up online.
Yeah. And the one who recorded it that I'm familiar with is Nancy Lamont.
Lamont.
Yeah, Lamont, M-O-T-T.
Oh, okay.